Ooh. Good morning and welcome to the show. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button so that you can see when the next time is that we post a new video.
If you're watching this live on Facebook, happy Wednesday.
If you are watching this live on Facebook, thank you for being here and thank you for your patience on our tardiness because we are having our squat rack put up in Boogie Gym 3.0 and we know that you guys would have an appreciation and understanding for that. So here we are.
Yes, because now that means that we can actually record videos in there. Well, not now, but soon enough. Okay. So today, we're going to be talking about this thing that a lot of people nowadays tend to do in the 21st century.
A moment of silence.
Boogie had something very important to say.
What did he just say? Can you translate?
He was introducing how most people in the 21st century nowadays try to cut corners, and he's really upset by it.
It really peeves
Because when
him.
he tries to cut a corner to go chase a lizard, you know what ends up happening? His leash gets tied up into the tree. And then mamas have to find a way to walk through the bushes and untangle that shit.
Oh, man.
So then it ends up taking us longer
To get to the lizard.
Yeah.
Or the squirrel. It's unbelievable.
And he's like, it's the cutest thing ever. But, you know, we live in the 21st century where you're promised a lot of things that would come to you fast, become a millionaire in 90 days, lose 48 pounds in 30 days by drinking one sip of this drink.
Shoot.
How many of you guys got that text? What?
I just got one yesterday and I screenshotted it, but right now we're talking on
Oh,
my
wait.
phone, so I don't have it. But yesterday it literally said, lose 48 pounds by whatever, and then I stopped reading it.
I took a screenshot of that bullshit too.
And,
Hold on, I'll get to it. I took a screenshot of it.
I'm like, this is why everybody needs ENS. Because of these capturing text messages, promising, over-promising.
Get 4 sizes smaller in 22 days with just 1 cup of this. Get yours on. Don't get it. Don't get
Some
it.
website.
Get your integrity. Get your hard work. Get your community on. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be 10 times harder than you had expected it to be. It's gonna take you 10 times longer.
And it might
than
cost
you had.
and it might cost 10 times as much. Shortcuts cost more.
In the long run. Oof. Yes.
Ooh!
What?
Ooh! Yes.
That is true. So,
Going cheap costs you more.
Okay.
I want to look up.
Shortcuts. What is the definition of shortcuts? Okay, so shortcuts we're gonna dissect different elements. Time to get to result.
I'm looking for something powerful that you forwarded me.
The price tag required to get to the result. And the effort. Okay, so you guys remember this. In life, we have 3 resources, okay? And those are time, money, and energy, okay? Energy and time are both renewable. Sorry, energy and money are both renewable. Time is the only non-renewable resource, okay? So now, here's the thing. One of our mentors, Grant Cardone, he says this. He's like, anything that you want to achieve in life, expect it to take you 10 times longer and expect it to be 10 times harder. And it's absolutely true. However, we live in this society that, you know, like, I feel like for one, lies have become acceptable. And for two, if someone's being told that something is going to take them way longer than they're expected and it's going to be way harder than they've expected, then most people are just thrown off by it. Like, oh, I guess then that's not the right thing to do because I don't want it to be hard. Nobody wants anything to be hard, but you know, in order to achieve greatness of any kind and in your pursuit of any mission, you have to put in the work, and it's going to be a lot harder than you had expected. And you don't know what you don't know. So you're going to, you know, like you're going to have to tackle the difficulties heads on and just like be okay with it. So let's talk about that case of this drink that we were talking about. The drink that promises you to get 4 sizes smaller in 22 days with just 1 cup of this. So for one, if it takes you 22 days to achieve something that dramatic, then it's gonna come back to you that dramatically. You guys, think about it this way. If you, on a Saturday night, have 1 too many glasses of wine, you're probably gonna feel it until Tuesday, because Sunday, you're gonna feel like an asshole. Monday, you're just gonna do what you can to get by and hopefully get to bed early enough so that you can catch up on sleep. Tuesday is when you're actually gonna feel recovered, okay? And we're just talking about 1 glass too many. But for some reason, when it comes to, let's say, dropping 4 sizes, which, gosh, 4 sizes, I mean, let's consider it to be around 40 pounds. Like, what makes you think that the body is going to, like, change so quickly? Our body reacts to something quickly, right? Like you drink alcohol, you're gonna feel buzzed, okay? But changes in the body take time because there's so many processes that go into it, and that's what people fail to understand. And it's that very same mentality that get people literally chasing around their tail for decades and decades, because I guarantee you that it's the people who end up falling for this. For one, if you know any of those people, do us a favor and please just share this episode with them because they really need to hear this. But, you know, those are the ones who have probably been trying to lose weight fast for a decade and who will be trying to lose weight for another decade unless they will be introduced to the truth, and will get on the path where they will be taking action based on the truth. Other than that, they're going to keep on trying to lose weight fast, which by default means they're going to gain it back even faster. How many of you guys have ever been on crash diets before? Drop it in the comments and say me.
Me.
Like, when you did a crash diet, like you probably lost what, like even up to like 10 pounds in 1 week, something like that.
Maybe not 10 in 1 week. That's
anywhere between 5 and 10. Like that's the standard.
Depends on how big you are.
Sure.
If you only weigh 160, you're not going to lose as much.
Yeah.
As if you weigh like 250, you know? Me. I'm grateful because it seems like nowadays, like people are understanding a little bit better that it is more of a lifestyle change and they're not buying into as much, or maybe I'm just in my own world, but they're not buying into these like quick fixes as much. But I've talked about before, and Dana said it. She's like, I'm glad I'm working my ass off because it's going to feel so much better when I get there. Okay, so if everything starts, if so much of any success in life has to do with our mindset and where we're at in our minds, then what fills the mind? What is more fulfilling to the mind, and what is more worth it? If you get a liposuction with the intention of being leaner so that you feel more confident, or working to achieve the lean body to feel more confident, which one actually makes you feel more confident? It's the one that you had to work for. Because there's more satisfaction in earning something than there is being handed something.
I want to add to that. The more resources you use for something, like, so let's say if you have a liposuction, right? Like the resource that you used was money, right? So there was a monetary exchange, you got a byproduct. Now imagine investing in something, putting in the time, putting in the effort. That's got to be more fulfilling.
And when you earn something, nobody can take it from you. Because you have the tools, you have the strategies, you have the resources.
You have the skills.
You have the skills, you have the mindset to be able to hang on to it. I've talked about the concept of like discomfort and how there really is no such thing as a comfort zone. I really truly believe there is no such thing as a comfort zone. There is finding momentary comfort, right? When you snuggle up in bed and, you know, I'm grateful to have a warm bed and a pillow to go in. I can get my body comfortable for a moment, right? But in life, in the big picture of life, there is no such thing as a comfort zone. Because you're either uncomfortable because you are not living up to your potential and you're not moving forward and you're not getting better and you're not growing and you're not doing anything good for yourself. That's uncomfortable. Or you are moving forward. You are going against the grain. You are swimming upstream. You are changing your life in positive ways. You are going forward. That takes energy. That takes effort. That takes failure. That takes resources. That takes fortitude. That takes patience. And so either way, on either end, it's uncomfortable. You forwarded this email and it goes really perfectly with this, but if you guys don't know who Andy Frisella is, he's somebody that we listen to. If you think that we're aggressive in our language and that scares you, you might not want to listen to him. But if you don't care and you kind of think it's funny like I do, then it'll be a hoot. But he said this in one of his daily emails. Struggling is hard. Becoming successful is hard too. Living a modest life is hard. Living an extravagant life and maintaining it is hard too. Being scared about taking off your shirt at the pool is hard. Consistently eating right and exercising to get abs to show off at the pool is hard too. The question is, which hard do you want to choose? Life is hard no matter if you're lazy or if you get up and get things done. You just have to choose which hard you want in your life. But let me tell you something. It's easier to get your ass to the gym and work out than it is to look in the mirror every single day and hate the way you look. It's easier to work a few hours extra every week than it is to regret how your life just went by and you did nothing. Go for the hard life that you want for yourself, not the hard life that happens because of your inaction.
Oof.
I resonate with this guy so much. He's not even a fitness or weight loss or any health coach. He's just gone through his own health journey. And there's a reason why we say, we're on a mission to transform the lives of millions through the same movement, nutrition, and lifestyle habits that have transformed ours. You may have heard us drop financial as well, because they're all parallel. They're all parallel. Relationships, money, your body, your health, your mindset, all of it has to do with your mindset, your career. All of these things are all have the same parallels. Mm-hmm. And this guy coaches business and entrepreneurship, I believe, but the way he speaks is similar to us, where it's like, yeah, we coach body transformation, but it's all parallel. So, any concept that we teach is very in alignment with Mr. Frisella and is very much in alignment with every aspect of life that you want to succeed in. Mm-hmm. There's hard because you're not doing anything, and there's hard because you are doing things. Which one do you want? That's it. So next time you're doing something that you feel is difficult, but you're taking action in a forward momentum, remember, I would rather have this hard because it gives me more of a life I would prefer living than the kind of hard that is settling. Mm-hmm. Right? I like listening to people who are really aggressive because I think it's very courageous that they are just who they are, and it's like, rah! But Andy is very in your face. Like, some of the stuff he says, I'm like, oof. For the sensitive people listening, like, they're out. They already sent him an email.
Yeah, for sure.
Saying how upset he made them. But
I don't think that's his kind of people anyways.
Yeah.
But, you guys, when you try to take shortcuts, the reason why you will never achieve it is because I'm going to draw some graphs.
Sarit loves graphs.
I do.
Who loves Sarit's graphs? I'm going to try to show them in a non-backwards kind of way. Here, give me your
All you
graph.
12-year-olds are going to laugh.
Give me your fancy graph. Why are they going to laugh? Let me see if I can do this. Ah. There we are. Okay. Fancy graph.
Hold on. This is what happens when you try to go the fast route.
And anybody who knows about Andy's 75 hard, while Sarit is playing with her graph, a lot of people have tried 75 hard and have listened to Andy talk about it, and the intention of it. And 75 hard has been failed by a shit ton of people. A metric fuck ton, which is an actual measurement.
I mean, imagine if only 5% of the people followed through with the TKC.
So for those of you who are now like, what's 75 hard? Just like, proceed with caution. 75 hard's intention is not weight loss. A lot of people fail because they go into it wanting to lose weight. That's their intention. 75 hard is not supposed to be a weight loss program.
But the weight loss is a byproduct.
The weight loss is a byproduct. 75 hard is meant to build extreme discipline. Extreme discipline. And, you know, I appreciate when he says, like, if you can't do it, like you're not tough enough, would be like his argument. You can't follow through, you know, you can't stick to what you say you're going to do. You can't commit. But, you know, 75 hard, I feel like, is the top of the staircase. And I know for me, when I've tried to jump to the top of the staircase, I've fallen every time. I personally had to take the steps to get to the top of the staircase. So that's all I want to say about that. I think it's a phenomenal program for those who are ready, willing, and able to build extreme discipline. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
It's not going to work that way. She doesn't learn. Whoa. Whoa, I can't get it all in there. There we go. Is that in?
Mm-hmm.
The fast route. Okay, explain this.
Okay, so if you go the fast route, then you stay here.
R.
Okay, you are going to be who you are now. Okay, you're very far away from who you could become. Therefore, they're not going to interchange. However, if you go the real route, then who you are, okay, eventually molds in with your higher potential, and that's who you become.
Wow. I love it.
And why is that? That is because when you put in the time and when you put in the effort, what happens is that you're starting to build different habits. You guys, we are just a byproduct of our habits. Like it or not, that's our truth. Okay? Our brain just cruises on autopilot. Okay? Like, for example, people who haven't meal prepped before, the reason why, you know, they have a hard time going into meal prep is because it's not a habit of theirs yet. Once meal prep has been an ingrained habit in somebody's life, I guarantee you that they won't want to have it any other way because there's just so many benefits to it. And the same thing goes for working out, right? Like, let's say if you haven't worked out for a really long time and you start working out, it's really, really hard, like physically, mentally, emotionally, right? But like, let's say if you've been consistent working out 5 days a week for like a year, getting your ass to do a workout isn't as difficult. Okay, that doesn't mean that external forces are not gonna like show up. Yes.
Ooh, can I see your graph?
It's up to you to, you know, like overcome these external forces. But the only way for you to overcome these external forces as well is through habits. Because when you have gained habits, you now have a skill. Like, for example, let's say if somebody never ran before and you tell them go for a 10K run, chances are is that their lungs have not created enough capacity in order for them to be able to pursue a 10K run. And the same thing goes for your muscles. There's so much that goes into it. But, you know, if let's say you've been working on your runs on a regular basis, you've already done a 5K, then you have enough endurance and stamina, not just physically, but also like mentally and emotionally to push through. So therefore you have the skills and the tools in order for you to be able to complete it. Yeah. I hear that.
Oh, it's weird. I made more to this graph. Okay, are you guys ready? And this is a great visual. So, check this out. See these little arrows that I made here now? These little arrows and these little arrows. These are life. These are life coming in at you, right? Oh, I went on a vacation. Oh, I was doing really well. And then I got a flat tire. And then I didn't have time to eat lunch because I had to call the tow truck. And then blah, blah, blah. And I fell off track because I had a baby, or because I moved a house, or because this or that. Now, check this out. You have over here, very separated. You have here a very close bond. Which one of these two graphs do you think is going to more likely withstand all of life's crazy bullshit that it throws in your way?
I know.
That's the question.
The lower one. It's got a bigger thing. It's harder to move that shit.
You have a bigger thing.
Yeah, it's harder to move that shit when you got a bigger thing.
Always the flat tire. All the inner circle people are teasing.
You guys love the flat tire analogy.
We ran into a different problem this last weekend. Was not a flat tire. That's for another day. So yeah, that was the only thing I wanted to add to that.
So, the point is, whatever it is that you are pursuing to achieve, don't try to cut corners. Have the integrity and the discipline in order to do what you have to do in order to get there. Because when you work towards it, what happens is that you end up gaining the skill set. And also you become a different person in the journey because you are changing your habits, whether you like it or not. You guys, our brain wants to be as efficient as possible. Therefore, it would do everything that it can to, live life in terms of habits. Okay, so like, for example, if when the alarm goes off and you like to stay in bed for another 10 minutes, that's a habit. Boogie and I, we like to stay in 10 minutes. But Erin, on the other hand, gets up immediately.
Don't make it sound like it's easy. I have a hard time. I try to use the 5-second rule and I force myself to start getting up. I just start moving limbs. I'm like, okay, I gotta get my arm out of bed. All right, I gotta get my leg out of bed. Somehow I gotta sit up. And sometimes my back is so, one of the reasons I don't want to just spring up is because I don't want to move. My back gets really stiff at night. And so I have a fear of pain when I start moving initially in the morning. So sometimes that literally, I let that keep me in bed longer. I used to literally, when the alarm woke up, I would just be like, bam. I wouldn't even let myself negotiate because I know how good of a negotiator I can be with myself. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't even allow it. So I really do my best to nope, don't even start thinking. The second I start thinking, immediately I want to just stay in bed. Mm-hmm. It is not oh, I'm just wide awake. When you wake up at 4:30 in the morning, tell me you're wide awake, unless you go to bed at 7 p.m. every night.
Okay, so
Lean bean.
Hold on. So, in order for you to overcome resistance, you have to build habits. Now, at the beginning, breaking habits or building new habits is so much harder than ever before. But once you started building them, then you're running on cruise control. And you guys, life just becomes simple. I'm not going to say that life becomes easy because life is never easy, but things just become simple. You don't have to have resistance to overthink and do and blah, blah, blah. It's just I do.
Make a habit of just taking action.
Yeah.
Before you give yourself time to think. Because the first action that you would take instinctually is the right one most of the time.
Yeah.
What you know you need to do for whatever purpose, whatever goal you have.
Yeah.
You know, and immediately that's the first action that I should do this.
Yeah.
Do it. Don't even give yourself time. Don't give your time. What is the definition of time? Don't give yourself time to negotiate.
And the more time you're giving yourself to think about how you're going to do something, the less likely you are to do it.
It's like when people sign up for the inner circle. I got to think about it. I'm literally like, what are you going to think about?
Yeah.
That's not an asshole, like passive aggressive kind of question. Like, oh, what are you going to think about? It's literally like, I'm curious.
When somebody thinks about
hold on. What is there to think about? Because think about it is normally an excuse to delay action you know you need to take.
Yes.
I have to think about it. If you have all of the information you need, then I have to think about it is your delaying action you know you need to take. Think about that.
Yeah. The more time you give yourself to think about something, the more likely you are to talk yourself out of it. It's basically, I want the wiggle room to justify why I shouldn't do something. Great. Pick your hard. So real quick, I also want to talk about how when you try to buy things that promise you that you'll get
there's nothing in here.
To places faster. And I don't mean a private jet versus a regular car.
I want a jet.
But, I mean something like along the lines of like a fat burner. This will help me to lose weight faster. How, in fact, like if you focus on the small things that will get you there faster, rather than gaining the tools necessary in order to get there, what's going to end up happening in the long run is that you are going to actually outspend yourself without even realizing. And this is something that a lot of you guys have to accept and start acting upon, because otherwise you're going to be throwing like a lot of money in the trash. And full transparency, like if you've ever considered the Inner Circle program, the first thing that we'll tell you is that it is an investment. But guess what? It is the cheapest investment you'll ever make. Because what you need to think about is, how much money am I actually saving in the long run? Yes, it's more, like it's a bigger chunk up front, but it's a lot less. Literally thousands of dollars less in the long run versus like little things that you pay for here and there and over the span of years and decades, because they're actually not a solution to your problem, but rather just like an add-on. What ends up happening is that you end up wasting a lot of time, energy, and money. So I just went to Google and let me see. Amazon bestsellers of best fat burner supplements.
Wow, what a great search.
Yeah. Ooh, Hydroxycut Black. I've taken Hydroxycut before, so I'm gonna choose that one. Okay. All right, so Hydroxycut Black.
Is that legal? I thought they made Hydroxycut illegal.
Well, turns out they still make it. Okay, so 60 capsules are...
I took that. Who took Hydroxycut?
$20.91. Now let's say, how long do these last? Because I think there is like a loading phase for that thing, if I remember. Remember, it's like week 1, it was one like in the morning, 1 at night. Week 2, it's 2. Week 3 is 3, and then you have to stay with 3. So let me see real quick.
I just started taking.
How do you take that shit? How do you take that shit?
Look on the directions. Click one of those. Click it, and then hover over it.
Okay, direction.
Here. There.
To assess individual tolerance, refer to the chart. Take 1 serving, basically 2 liquid capsules 2 times a day. Okay, so 4 per day.
Before your 2 main meals.
Okay, so basically 4 capsules every single day.
If it says do not exceed 4 capsules in a 24-hour period, something's up.
Okay, yeah. So basically this container that costs you $20.91 will get you through 15 days.
For best results, use 60 days in combination with diet and exercise. Why? Because it needs to look like the product is doing something. And if you control your nutrition and your exercise, you'll see results.
Yeah. Now, let's face it, nobody's going to take hydroxycut just for 15 days because it's not going to get you anywhere other than maybe to the ER.
If you exceed.
So let's
4
say
capsules.
for every 15 days, you are putting down, what is it?
How much?
$20.91.
$21.
Okay, $21 for every 15 days. Okay, now, when you were taking hydroxycut, how long would you take it before you gave up?
At least a month.
And then you did what?
Well, I did hydroxycut like in a few different spurts. I was like, oh, I got to start taking that again. I just got lazy. I got to start taking that again because I need results.
Okay, let's say you take it for a year.
I probably took it like in total like 5 or 6 months.
Okay, so let's say you take it consistently for 6 months. What happened to you after you've taken it for 6 months?
42 times 6, right?
How many days are in 6 months? Let's say 50. 26 times 7. 182.
182 days.
Okay, so 182 times 21 divided by 15.
$255.
Okay, so what happened after 6 months? Did your life change?
Nope.
So what else did you do then?
It actually is just more frustrating. Because you spent money, you spent time, you spent your mind energy on thinking that this thing is going to help.
So $255 later, and no results,
Right.
less confidence, more agony, more time wasted. You guys, let me ask you this question. How much do 6 months of your life cost? What is the worth of that? That's where the real number comes in. So then you invested in what? Then you invested in what?
I'm just reading their comments. I used sound OG hydroxycut. Then you try something else. Mostly it was just like a restriction of calories. I would just keep restricting the calories until I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah. So let's say if on average you go for like a quick fix every 6 months, and let's say we just know it doesn't work. If you're not changing your habits, it's just not going to work. You do that for 6 years. Okay? That is
$3,000.
6 years of wasted time, $3,000.
That's just for like those pills too.
Yeah.
You know, not to mention, like, I know a lot of you guys have also done like Nutrisystem and Isogenics and
Ooh, what is Nutrisystem per month? I think that's like $400.
It's a pretty penny. Nutrisystem official site. Compare weight loss plans.
Okay, so $250 to $350 per month. So let's say on average $300. Okay, let's say you do that for 1 year before you give up. Okay, what is 300 300 times 12.
$3,600.
Just wasted $3,600. No big deal.
I think that, hopefully we just learn, right? Like, it's an expensive lesson, right? But, it's tough because sometimes a lot of times you have to do the right thing to discover the right. A lot of times you have to do the wrong thing to discover the right thing.
Yes.
And often that wrong thing costs us
Yep.
resources. It costs us time. It costs us energy. It costs us money. It costs us relationships. It costs, until you find the right thing. And you can just think of it as an education that you paid for.
Yeah. You guys, sometimes knowing what doesn't work is like probably equally as important as knowing what you should be doing. Only if you're open-minded and you have a growth mindset. Otherwise, you're just going to repeat the same thing over and over and over again. Okay? I think that does it for today.
That does it for today.
You guys, greatness was not meant to be convenient.
I want to read some of these. I just barely have been able to skim through because you guys are commenting so fast. There's one. Let's start up here. Can't get that time back. No price. Can't get the time back. Starting here. Isogenics, so expensive. Personal self-care investment, $2,000 to $3,000. Something is a program. Weight Not is a program I've done. Low calorie, a bunch of supplements that I found I was allergic to and ended up in the hospital. Herbalife, Weight Watchers, Noom, HCG crap, $30 times like a million meal plans, fat burning supplements, etc. That doesn't even include all the food you still need to be on the Nutrisystem as well. Isogenics was so expensive and zero results. I lost so much weight with Herbalife. I looked sick, but literally gained it all back in like 2 weeks without taking the supplements. Gosh. That isn't including all the multiple things you do at the same time, because all those combined must work. So much money wasted. I once calculated how much money I've spent on booze in a 10-year period, and I wanted to puke at the number. Same for all the prior weight loss attempts. You can't just live on shakes. My mind needs healing first. Yes, yes, yes. What an episode. We kind of went like... Pew, pew,
I want to
pew,
talk
pew,
about
pew.
all these products real quick. The only habit that they teach you is to be reliant on them. So it's like, not only if life happens, let's say you go on vacation, you have a wedding to go to and you can't use it, then you fall off. But the only habit that you've actually acquired is to be dependent on them. What if, let's say, like you have a work opportunity that's like in the Middle East or something? How the fuck are you gonna live? You're gonna ask Nutrisystem to deliver it to you halfway across the world. So remember this, by gaining the habits that you have to earn, this is what makes you bulletproof. Okay? Otherwise, you're going to be forever dependent. And you guys, we are on a mission to transform the lives of millions through the same movement, nutrition, lifestyle, and financial habits that have transformed ours. If you have found benefit from today's episode and you're like, man, I'm either so grateful for all of the habits that I've already been shifting, or I'm so overwhelmed because I don't even know how many good habits I have. All I can think of is all the bad habits that I have. Then you guys, we're here to help. Okay. Please, if you found value from today's conversation, just pay it forward by sharing it with somebody else who will gain value from it. And if you need help, just simply reach out. That's what we're here for. All you gotta do is just email admin@erinsarit.com, and we will see what is it that you need, and we'll put you in the right place at the right time so that you can build those bulletproof habits that will absolutely change your life and will help you never have to look back ever again. If you've been watching this show for quite a bit of time, for one, let's welcome all of the new faces. I've seen a couple of new names.
Yeah, there are. And I also want to say, if you invest with ENS, it's the cheapest money you will ever invest.
Yes.
For the largest reward you have ever seen.
If you've made an investment and you know that there's no turning back because you're just a different person by now, drop it in the comments. Say holla for $1.
Hashtag take my money.
Yeah.
It's so humbling that you guys trust us. It's one of the most difficult things to do in this industry because of those text messages, because of all of these programs, because of everybody promising, all of this stuff. So true 100% gratitude to all of you who have jumped in on any of our programs and trusted us. And to those of you who have given amazing testimonials, for the programs that you guys have been through and had success in. It really means a lot to us.
Yeah. I see Jen Anderson.
Holla for $1.
I see Jen Anderson speaking, and I want to give her a huge shout out because, dude, you've been getting yourself outside of your comfort zone, and man, that's awesome. You guys, we love you so much, and we hope that you enjoyed this episode. If this is your very first time listening, then we hope that you enjoyed this episode. Just so you guys know, we do go live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. We go live at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific time. On Fridays, those are guest interview days. And we start at 9 a.m. Eastern. So mark your calendars if you haven't already. Tomorrow is Relationship Thursday, where we talk about how to turn your relationships into solid relationships. And that being said, you guys, we hope that you have a happy Wednesday. Here's to you winning today. Take care, you guys.
See ya.